inside Nigeria, reaching you on Leadership Television. My name is Winifred Ugbebo, and today is a fresh day. Today is August 16th, your midweek program. And my name is Winifred Ugbebo, your anchor for this first segment of the show. On the second segment, we are going to be having our midweek veteran guest. He is GD Ojo. Well, back to this first segment of the program, we have some arrays of newspapers on our menu for review this morning. And of course, as usual on the show, we like to flag up with Nigeria's most influential newspaper, Leadership. We like to say what Leadership is leading with today. Leadership says federal government battles market forces to stabilize petrol pump price. Federal government battles market forces to stabilize petrol pump price. Rules out reversal of subsidy removal. Kenya introduces 30-day subsidy amid nationwide protest. Federal government battles market forces to stabilize petrol pump price. Rules out reversal of subsidy removal. Kenya introduces 30-day subsidy amid nationwide protest. And of course, we also have beneath that story is a promotional on the and advertorial. So we are not going to be talking about that. We are moving to the page 3 of Leadership, where we have our stand. Our stand is on the editorial for the day. And today's editorial is Nigerian youths must not lose hope. Nigerian youths must not lose hope. Recently, the international community celebrated the youth of the world. August 12 was first designated International Youth Day by the United Nations General Assembly in 1999 and serves as an annual celebration of the role of the young. This is the editorial on Leadership, our stand, page 3. For more on that, you are going to log on to the website. But just before we leave Leadership, we are moving to the back page of the paper, where we have guest column with Femi Ogunshola. Can Tinubu administration team job racketeering in MDAs? Can Tinubu administration team job racketeering in MDAs? Find out more on this guest column today, Wednesday. And of course, Ghana Must Go says CBN moves to clamp down on forex speculators. News. CBN moves to clamp down on forex speculators. News. Is Aboki Forex exchange still the problem? That is the answer. For this and more on the headline stories, log on to the website of Leadership, www.leadership.ng. From Leadership, we have this day newspaper next on our menu, and this day is leading with the story: subsidy is gone, long live fuel subsidy. Subsidy is gone, long live fuel subsidy. With current market price, petrol should sell at 720 naira per litre. Landing cost hits 651.75 naira per litre. Tinubu under pressure to return subsidy. President NNPC Ipman declare no plan to increase fuel price. Presents graphic illustration indicating Nigeria's petrol cheapest in West Africa. Kenya restores subsidy to curb rates volatility. CIBN, no government can thrive adopting free floating exchange rates. CIBN, no government can thrive adopting free floating exchange rates. From that, we move to the stories about the leading story. Tinubu, we are working not to compound Niger's crisis. Tinubu, we are working not to compound Niger's crisis. Welcomes ECA's support, promises to work with Bongo. ECOWAS military chiefs meet in Ghana tomorrow over Niger. German government seeks release of detained Nigerian president. NEF urges federal government to remove sanctions imposed on country. And about the masthead of this day, we have President, death of military officers, soldiers in helicopter crash saddens me immensely. President, death of military officers, soldiers in helicopter crash saddens me immensely. This story is on page 8 of this day. And above that, we have higher food commodity prices drive inflation further to 24.08%. Higher flood commodity prices drive inflation further to 24.08%. Severe in Kogi, Lagos, Ondo, others. For more on this and inside stories and the editorial, log on to the website of This Day, www.thisdaylive.com. From This Day, Vanguard newspaper also has similar story. Vanguard leads with inflation hits 24.08% as Nigerians struggle with higher food prices. Measures to tackle food inflation yet to be executed, analysts. Inflation surge devastating citizens' welfare, CPPE. And of course, we have graphics there, infographics on the essential items and their inflation rate, contributors to inflation rise. Inflation hits 24.08% as Nigerians struggle with higher food prices. That is the leading story once again on Vanguard newspaper. And they're just beneath the infographs we maintain current petrol price without subsidy removal. Tinubu will maintain current petrol price without subsidy removal. Tinubu says labor strike threats premature. No plan for fresh petrol price hike, says NNPC. Kenya reinstates fuel subsidy for 30 days to curb soaring prices. He says Safe Festival, Islamic Council asks worshippers to keep off in lorry. And on sports, we have started negotiations with Peseiro over Eagles contract, NFF. We move above the stories to the masthead, to the stories above the masthead, while we have pension funds investment in equities grows by 36% to 1.4 trillion naira. The story is on page 19 of Vanguard. Federal government files fresh 20-count charge against Emefiele in Abuja. Harsh economy. Buhari spent 96% of national income on debt. Oshomole. NAV's helicopter crash. Villagers flee communities in Niger State. NAV's helicopter crash. Villagers flee communities in Niger State. West Africa military chiefs to discuss Niger crisis this week. West Africa military chiefs to discuss Niger crisis this week. For more stories on Vanguard newspaper, the commentary and inside stories, log on to the website of Vanguard, www.vanguardngr.com. From Vanguard, the newspaper on our menu is The Guardian. The Guardian is also leading with similar story on inflation. It says federal government in deregulation dilemma as 24% inflation worsens poverty. Federal government in deregulation dilemma as 24% inflation worsens poverty. And of course, the Guardian also has infographics on the fuel and the inflation rates on it cover, just to support the leading story. Beside that, we have pedestrians flee as miscreants take over footbridges in Lagos. Pedestrians flee as miscreants take over footbridges in Lagos. Stories on their Metro page 8. Fresh concerns over cost relevance of NYSC scheme in lean times. That's a news analysis on The Guardian today. This is on page 4 of the paper. Fresh concerns over cost relevance of NYSC scheme in lean times. Federal government applies to withdraw firearm charge against Emefiele. Stories on page 5 of The Guardian. We move above these to manufacturing firms profitability down by 351% in first half amid soaring OPEX. Manufacturing firms profitability down by 351% in first half amid soaring OPEX. Nigerians may wait longer for Tinubu's cabinet despite hasty screening. Nigerians may wait longer for Tinubu's cabinet despite hasty screening. And of course, Tinubu says we maintain petrol price without subsidy reversal. For more on these headline stories, inside pages, and their news analysis, which is their editorial, log on to the website of The Guardian, www.theguardian.ng. From The Guardian, this day, the Nation newspaper is next, and The Nation says Tinubu petrol price won't go up, subsidy removal stays. Tinubu petrol price won't go up, subsidy removal stays. We will end inefficiency. President, labor strike threats if premature. We will end inefficiency. President says labor strike threats premature. Ganduje, President honest with Nigerians on subsidy removal. And of course, we have a story beneath that. We shut down NAFJET. Group claims responsibility. We shut down NAFJET. Group claims responsibility. President mourns crash victims. And just the strip strip underneath the paper, we have Shaibu can't destabilize my government, says Obaseki, Edo State Governor. Neiti to probe 13% derivation. Stories on page 5 of the Nation. And above that, we move up. Kidnap Nasarawa monarch, wife regain freedom. Kidnap Nasarawa monarch, wife regain freedom. FBN Holdings shareholders okay 150 billion naira rights issue. Otedola Ariyibi appointed directors. Above the masthead of the Nation, we have survival wage soon for Nigerians. Speaker assures. Tinubu inherited terrible economic crisis, says Oshomole. Federal government fights fresh charges against Emefiele in Abuja. High food prices, Feds pushed inflation to 24.08%. The story is on page 7 of the Nation. For more on that, inside pages and of course the editorials on the Nation today, I urge you to log on to the website of the Nation, www.thenationonlineng.net. From the Nation, we move over to the next paper on our menu, and that is the Punch. Punch is punching with 6.9 billion naira procurement fraud. Federal government arraigns Emefiele allies Thursday. 6.9 billion naira procurement fraud. Federal government arraigns Emefiele allies Thursday. CBN procurement director seeks orders to testify against ex-Apex Bank governor. CBN procurement director seeks orders to testify against ex-Apex Bank governor. Suspended CBN governor allegedly bought 100 vehicles through employees. We have the picture on the Punch newspaper where we have flood in some of the states, although not stated. I think, it's leading with that story. It's just, it's following the story. One dies, others missing as oil rig collapses in Delta. One dies, others missing as oil rig collapses in Delta. That is the picture caption for that story. Niger ambush, Tinubu more soldiers. Okay, it's Niger State ambush. Tinubu more soldiers. NAF vows to pound bandits. Niger ambush, Tinubu more soldiers. NAF vows to pound bandits. Passers-by injured as Kano tricycle riders, traffic officials clash. Warri Itakpe train derails. NRC suspends operations. Warri Itakpe train derails. NRC suspends operations. We move over to the stories above the masthead of the Punch, where we have Niger. ECOWAS tightens sanctions. Junta demands power supply. Niger, ECOWAS tightens sanctions. Junta demands power supply. EFCC goes after dollar speculators. CBN slashes banks allocations. Federal government may sell stakes in NNPC 19 entities. For more on these headline stories, inside pages, and of course the editorial, log on to the website of the Punch newspaper, www.punchng.com. From the Punch newspaper, we move over to the last paper we have on our menu, and that is Blueprint newspaper. Blueprint leads with the same inflation story as inflation surges to 24.08%. Tinubu and NPCL rule out further fuel price hike. NLC strike threats premature at federal government. Small-scale industrialists make case for own refineries. And beneath that, we have federal government files 20 new charges against Emefiele, clarifies court order. Amid rumor defection, Wike visits APC chair, Ganduje. He says, stay away from Ilorin police. Ulamas warn Ifa worshippers. Nigeria crude exports to rise as Shell Focados terminal resumes operations. We move over just beneath the masthead of Blueprint. Police arrest most dreaded Benue military kingpin, gun manufacturer. Police arrest most dreaded Benue military kingpin, gun manufacturer. So it's on page 5 of Blueprint newspaper. Students' loan commences from 2023-2024 academic year. Federal government. Niger, ECOWAS military chiefs meet on directive to activate troops. For more on these stories, headline stories, inside stories, and editorial, log on to the website of Blueprint newspaper, www.blueprint.ng. Obviously, well, we come to the end of today's first segment of the show. That is a paper review where we discuss, just review front headline stories of some select newspapers. This second segment is actually on its way, where I have a virtual guest today in the person of Jide Ojo. He's a triple chief. He's a public affairs analyst, a TV host, and a syndicated columnist. My name is Winifred Ubebo. Don't go away, just stay tuned for the second part.
Be part of our brand. Leadership for God and country.
Show, your preferred show on television inside Nigeria. My name is Winifred Ubebo once again, and of course I have my virtual guest waiting, Jide Ojo. He's, like I said earlier, just before we rounded off this first segment of the show, he's a triple chief. He's a syndicated columnist, a TV host, and a public affairs analyst. Jide Ojo, it's always a pleasure to have you on the program, although you're on the other side this time around. Good morning. good to have you on the program, whichever way. How are you doing? Wow, there's echo. So the headline stories today is on the inflation. Inflation on hits 24.08%. That's why with goods in the market, food inflation. That is the headline story on some of the select newspapers. What is actually happening? Although many people are of the opinion that the rate is actually higher, that NBS, National Bureau of Statistics, is just being economical with the truth. So what is happening? We are having inflation rate surge on without no measure to tackle it.
Nigeria border for the past 2 years. Many of these stores are currently rated perishable and not perishable. And it is from the fact that Nigeria operates the short story of some of the things like Snowball, like Unicorn, like Rain, Disney, Bright. So now that by the case of the King of World, the exposure of the weather has affected to and it has affected it has also affected the food supply. And because this case of the King of World has resulted in the end of the weather, most of the goods that are brought in from here resources to Nigeria, like Asuna, Sokoto, multiple 7 states, are no longer coming. So today, the price of a noodle of beef is sold for 1,400 up from 600 for a few months ago. Rice is now about 45 and 50,000. For 12.5 feet. And like that, even tomatoes, they are released to them for 200,000. And you know, not now, it's like that. You can't really have to buy it. So, the truth is that, as long as we are not producing enough food, and not only food, but also our lack of production is not dependent. We continue to increase the cost of living. Today, ironic that we rely so much on China and Asian countries for our food and other basic amenities. Most of the economic activities particularly like coming from Thailand, that some of the other Asian countries. So, the thing is that China is now importing Gari to Nigeria.
No, I'm just hearing. I'm just hearing that. I'm actually shocked hearing that. Gary, that Nigeria staple. Hmm.
So what is because of all of this is our lack of science, technology, and innovation, over dependence on foreign countries for our consumption, and insecurity. Unfortunately, the exchange rate margin of the exchange rate was high as $170. Which is why I don't know whether you saw a certain video of someone who tried to exchange $10,000.
Yes, I saw it. It was yes, a skit. A skit. I saw it. To his house.
When he arrived, he told the customer that the exchange rate is not 817 naira. The man was still complaining that it's too high. When the man received the call, they say the price has turned to 903. The customer was furious and tried to call someone else. Someone told him that the exchange rate is 903. And when that was to me, Winifred, the exchange rate is dancing yo-yo because of the fiscal policy that the central bank has taken. We have not been able to reap maximally from the merger of the exchange rates. And that is affecting food imports, it's affecting imports of all the other items that are not produced in Nigeria. Even for the manufacturers in Nigeria who have to import their raw materials, they have to buy exchange rate, and it is what they buy that goes into their final retail products.
No.
So we are in for a long time, my dear sister. And if I should talk about the deceit of Tinubu administration that says that there will be no more increase in the pump price of petrol. But at the same time, they said the subsidy is gone forever. Who are they trying to deceive? You cannot claim that you will not subsidize, and yet the landing cost of the petrol, you are selling below the landing cost. So somebody must actually be
paying for that,
taking the price differentials, which is what we were experiencing under Buhari. And we are now back to that Buhari era of 2016-2017, when Buhari, having increased the price of PMS to 145 naira per liter, told us that subsidy is gone forever. But later we learned that NNPC then was paying what they called under recovery. And what is under recovery? They are paying through the back door without any appropriation. This year alone, the NNPC claimed to have spent 3.5 trillion between the first 5 months of this year. I hope you are aware, Winifred.
Yes.
3.5 trillion.
Yes.
Was claimed to have been spent on fuel subsidy for the first 5 months of this year. So, assuming without considering that what the government will be paying as a differential now, in order to keep the price stable, is about 200 naira per liter on every liter. That is still subsidy.
That is subsidy.
Even if they don't want to admit it, that's still subsidy. It shows that we are back to the subsidy era, because you cannot in one breath not have control over exchange rate, and you want to keep price of commodities stable. The only way to keep the prices of the commodities in the market stable is if you are able to stabilize the exchange rate, which has not been the case.
No,
so
I just
who
let
is
me just
fooling who?
chip this in. For how long
We
is
are
federal government
back
going
to subsidy regime.
Hello, Jide. I want to ask you this. For how long is the federal government going to hold on to this policy, this free floating, naira floating policy? Because the Chartered Institute of Bankers, Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, CIBN, has said that no government can thrive adopting free floating exchange rates.
I'm not hearing you.
It's high time the federal government rein it in. Don't forget Buhari, President,
Audio,
immediate
please.
past President
I'm not
Buhari.
hearing you.
Okay, you can't hear me. I just asked, for how long is federal government going to be stubborn about reining in, stopping this naira free floating? Because the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, you are not hearing me. Hello, can you hear me? You're not hearing me. Oh, we are experiencing some hiccups there, network issues with our guest, our midweek guest, Jide Ojo. But once he gets online, we will be continuing where we left off. Well, the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, the Lagos State chapter of the association, has said that no government in the world practices, Can you hear me now? You're back. The CIBN, as I said, hello. Hello. Jide, are you on? Can you hear me now? The Chartered Institute Bankers, the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria has said that no government can thrive adopting free floating exchange rates. Now I'm wondering, for how long will the federal government continue to hold on to this free floating naira? Because the previous administration of President Muhammadu Buhari did actually try it in 2016, and sooner than later he reversed himself. So is this federal government not going to be doing that? Can you hear me now? Maybe as we are experiencing some technical hiccups, and unfortunately this is where we end today's program, midweek program inside Nigeria on Leadership Television. Until we come your way again same time tomorrow, I remain Winifred Ugbebo. Thank you so much, and Joe, thank you so much for your presence. Unfortunately, we couldn't get more of you today due to some technical issues. Until I come your way again same time next week with Joe. Please wishing you a beautiful morning. Bye.